Who who owns intellectual property? But every individual.
Well, the intellectual property here within, if we're talking about here during the Kanienkeha classes, then it's the only thing that would apply to is the content of the class. And we did not put a copyright infringement upon ourselves. So somebody who is claiming some aspect of the Kanienkeha class to be a copyright infringement.
Okay, Stuart. I know who it is then. Remember when they did, they taped all the Mohawk languages? What was that? Rosetta Stone could claim because people sold it from town to them. They owned the rights to Kanienkeha.
Ooh, I wonder.
Damn
That's
right.
Yeah,
This is the only
but
one. They wanted me to work for them before. And I
only one class?
Well, Rosetta Stone, I have the book here that they never paid me for. Everybody got paid, but I know who got paid. They paid one person, they kept all the money, you know, same song, different day.
Well,
Yeah, but only one class?
who's that talking?
I think it's Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, if this was the case, then it would apply to all the classes. But it's only one class and it's that date. And it just so happened to be that I didn't know what's in the content until we went through it. And it's only at a certain point I realized that, hey, there's Spanish in there. Why is there Spanish? So I asked Edith and she says, well, this is when they were having that vigil for Roger Chalk Mendoza. Remember, Guayagirdi, you even done the greetings in Kanienkeha for him. So it's on that night. It's only on that Kanienkeha class, not any other. So it's not a matter of like saying Rosetta Stone or anybody else trying to claim the Kanienkeha language as theirs. Of just this one class.
Because there was no translation in it, that's why. When they don't know what's being said, then it bothers them.
Well, then they can't claim a copyright on that. You see, because if you're, let's say, you are the internet. Okay, so you're the internet, you got to have a filter. This is copyrighted, this isn't. So then automatically they got through that filter. Well, can they associate those words with being copyrighted? No, they can't. They can't be. So it doesn't come down to that. No matter what, it comes down to that it was about Roger Chalk Mendoza as to why they censored us on this.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
So the fact that it is censored in 78 or 76 countries, 78, 72, 72 countries around the world. Anyways, we made a video about it earlier, a live video. Later, I will suggest that you go back and watch this video later, everybody, because this is crucial to what is happening to human communication right now. As you know, human communication is at an all-time low. It has never been at this such a low level. Even though the world, all people on earth have at their fingertips this medium of social media, this is what actually breaks down in human communication, human interaction. You all know it. You've seen this, that when you are even just your phone and you're very quickly, you're sending a message, what most people are doing while they're stopped at a traffic light, by the way. So that means that when you are messaging back, you don't have the time to look if in fact you did send the proper message. So as you know, the algorithm says, well, I punched in these 2 letters of C and H. Oh, well, what does that mean? You know, automatically the algorithm puts a word there for you. And so you might be typing it in and not know that there's a word there. So you just type in CH, the whole word is there, and then you might continue writing, maybe you're writing cha-cha or something. So there's really nothing else to that except now the one letter or two or three letters on the end, that the two or three letters on the end by the person who receives it knows that that doesn't mean anything. So it goes to automatically, the person's default goes to what the algorithm's default was. So the human communication is really at the highest point of breakdown ever in the history of humanity. Even though now we can communicate through this one medium in how many different languages? I don't need a translator now. We just push a button and it's translated. And we just automatically accept that that's what is meant.
Well,
So-
there's more people listening to our classes than just the 7 people or 8 that's on.
Yeah, well, this is where we identify, and I'm very happy that we are getting somewhere. We are making ground with Mendoza. We have gained ground there because the only people or only entity that would dispute or put up any kind of issue here would be either the government of Bolivia itself, or else the in the jail there, what's the head guy? What do they call him?
Warden.
Warden, or the ones that are in charge, the CIA. So it's only one of those 3 that are in this line of our communication, interrupting it. And again, why not interrupt all the Kanienkeha classes? Why is it just that one? That's the only one where we're talking directly to Roger Chuck Mendoza. So this is a very good thing. It tells us that that we are collective power, able to affect things that where other people or other things, it's either a thing or a person that is afraid of the content of that Kanienkeha class. Now, they're not afraid of they can't cancel out the content, meaning the words, because we created it. So they can't claim copyright infringement. The only place there could be some kind of copyright infringement is when it refers to intellectual property, is in talking with Roger Chuck Mendoza. So Roger Chuck Mendoza must be considered by the state of Bolivia as property.
Well, at the time, Stuart, that time I wrote the dictionary, Kanienkeha dictionary, 275,000 words, A to Z. And I was working for band council, and the woman that was working over me, she said, "What are you doing?" And I told her, she says, "Oh, well, band council owns that now," she said. I said, "No way." That's when I quit. I said, "Nobody owns my brain and nobody owns my tongue."
Well, like any dictionary, if you bought a Webster's dictionary and you quote a Webster's dictionary, then that's copyright infringement. You have to identify that, you know. So here, like any dictionary, yes, the dictionary itself can be have the copyright infringement issue, but not the words within it, because
right.
the words are not owned by the dictionary. So it can't be, it's not that. It has nothing to do with anything about the Kanienkeha part of the video of that class. That's not why the video is restricted.
Well, there's a lot of people, must be, you've awakened a lot of people to Roger Mendoza's case, so they don't want that.
This is the thing. This is where we can be very happy, very comfortable in knowing that we have ruffled some feathers. This is, again, it goes back to saying that if you think you are too small, you're just one person and you can't do nothing, you can't affect change in this world, this is where you prevent yourself. You defeat yourself before you get started. So we must not ever fall victim to that, because that is a fear tactic that's put into us, just like when we're confronted with the legal system. They put the whole machination of a so-called justice system in front of you, but it's not a justice system, it's an intimidation system. And so intimidation is what puts the fear, what gets you to do what your opponent wants you to do. So this means you must be fearless. You must have no fear. The fear is what prevents everybody from accomplishing, from even getting started. So tonight, or this video, like I said, you'll have to go back to my Facebook page, Longhouse Stuart Mayo, and look at the post. We've done a live video about an hour ago explaining it and showing you all the stuff that Facebook itself posted. You know, we made a video of it so that you'd see it. You can see what is happening to you. It's not just happening to me. This is an algorithm that is showing fear over humanity expressed. When you express your humanity, the algorithm fears it. So this is a good lesson for everyone to learn tonight, today. So yeah, okay. So we go into the Kanienkeha class. All right, where were we last week?
We'll do an opening, no?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even do an opening. Okay. All righty. Yeah, sorry. A lot of stuff happening today. We also, we did go up north today to this gathering that Robert Sirwa was supposed to be at, but he caught COVID, so he couldn't be there. And he was the one that was supposed to do the radio interview with us. Anyways, he couldn't be there, but we still went, and we had a very good meeting. Very good meeting with a group of about, I don't know, 20, 25 people, something like that. But okay, that's for another time. All right. Oh, nagadiwahi kajokwa. So what don't see us, Narni. Gajita video, Yujatska, Winoji, and Dajatsko in a star, Ronata Hironi, Retinuada, Dukaronga Gari, Agasum, Yati Sota, Asitonka Garako, Yatin Stazi Hunzagi, and a Gueguskat Neganungwe. Retinuado, a Guazini, Ganetter, a Guazini, Ganetter, the Gerud, and a Guego, or Quazere, or no Quasuma. Retinuado, Sawierda, Dano, Tukundun Hetzerat Gawas. Retinuado, Yeti Sota Gunhan, Rona, the Hetstone, and Rio Daddy Hawakwe. Damdawi are on Hetzera, as at Stassera and Ganungwe. Damdawi are on Hetzera, Guego on a Goro, Guyana, that's a go in the Scana. Dana Ori Wheel, Gori Shunsera, Gazet Stassera. Damdawi, Gayandawana. So, as you know, every time we get together for meeting, council, ceremony, anything of importance, Bahonda Gadi Wadekwa is the most important part of the interaction, because it's the expression of oneself, where they are in the world. It expresses where your mind is to everybody else. And this is how we know then that we are of one mind. So let's say, just for comparison's sake, if somebody's in grade 10, and people are in all different grades from grade 10 back to kindergarten. Okay, so the person who would be expressing, let's say it's somebody in grade 5 doing the opening, then this would bring all of the ones from kindergarten up to grade 5 up to their level. And it would identify the ones in grade 10, from grade 6 to grade 10, for them to slow down now to this level, that this is where we are talking. This is where our minds are to focus. So this is the purpose, or one of the purposes, of the Ahonda Gadi Wadekwa, that it establishes in the people who are talking, you know what's in my mind. But there is a key also in the Ahonda Gadi Wadekwa that we don't use too often, not in these circumstances anyways. But if we're in the proper circumstance, in council, we would then say, Tony Awanage, is this in your minds? So I'll say something. 1 and 1 equals 2. Is it not? And everybody will all go, ah. And so this establishes to us what the common knowledge is, what we are all working from that baseline. So when a person speaking out about a specific thing gets our mind to that level, that dimension, remember, we are multidimensional beings. Beings, not beings. So if we have, let's say, 100 dimensions, and our mind can think on any one, but we're thinking on number 50, but we're supposed to be on 100. So on 100, thinking of number 50, then when we're in 100, we're doing a half-assed job. We're not doing the full capacity of what we should be doing. So it's important that the stage is set to say, this is the floor that we're working on. So when you push the elevator button, you know to get off on that floor. You're not going to be on the floor above or the floor beneath. You will be where the work is being done. And so again, Ohondagari Wadekwa is what is utilized to set the stage for everybody to have their minds in the same place. So tonight, I won't go over everything that was said because we've already said enough here, but to identify that we all know that our communication is under a microscope. It's under the gun. It's under attack. So we must acknowledge in what the process is that we are doing. It's not quite simply a thing to waste our time in. It's not a thing for you to come here and to say, oh, well, we'll spend a couple hours here, an hour here, an hour there. No, this is a continuation of what we have said to all of you, that what we need is a commitment by everyone. To heal our Mother Earth, you must make a commitment of at least the rest of your life. At the very least, we only will accept a lifetime commitment, not to us, to healing our Mother Earth. And so when you know that these are the things that we are discussing here, and not only discussing, but as you know, you see, we are putting words into action. We are taking your thoughts, your wishes, your hopes, putting those things into action where they cannot be taken physical form anywhere else for you. So this is a very important process. And this is the why, it's the why somebody or something is attacking us, because this is an attack, because it is completely unwarranted. It is completely unsubstantiated without any kind of weight on its side. It's a lie. Somebody else coming out and saying, like a judge, you're guilty. Why? Because I said so. That's a very interesting world that we live in. And if you cannot acknowledge that this is the reality, then you will just go, oh, the judge hits the gavel, you're guilty. Okay, that's it. That's as far as you go. But we're going further. Okay, so tonight then, we continue the conversation, and the conversation is between a young Kanienkeha man and a young non-native man. And they are talking about their the difference. And just so that you know, you might say, well, how come it's not a native girl? How come it's not a non-native girl? How come it's two boys? Well, because this is also a continuation of something else that we have been working on in other areas. We pull all of the things that we're doing in all areas, we pull them all together as one. And so this is actually being integrated with an action by, I can't remember his name, Nicola. He put in the what was that process where we went and spoke before?
The BAP.
The BAP. Okay, the BAP process. If you know what that is, we went and took a BAP. Anyways, there, he put in his special twist on protecting the environment. And he sang a song at the back. He had a guitar and he made a song. It was in French, and he sang it there. And afterwards, he came to us and he wanted to know what he could do, incorporate, blah blah blah. Anyway, so it's these two boys. It's him and it's I. When we're young boys, we're talking to each other. This is so you know the reason why. You might think, well, how come it's not a girl? Okay, so what was the last thing?
Well, last time, okay, we were talking about the ceremonies, and the last thing that we shared, I'm gonna just go look for it. It was about when we bury our dead on the same day. We were talking about law.
Okay, let me just read through the English part really fast so that we get an idea what was there. Pauline.
Okay, let me just go up a little bit here. According to law, there are 13 rules are listed. Hello. That's good.
That's it?
No, I'm continuing.
No, I want to see from the beginning of.
Well, from the beginning, it's like 4 classes ago. So that's really
No,
long.
the beginning of the last class. I don't want to go 4 classes ago. I
Well,
just
that's
want to
it.
know.
That's it.
That's the beginning? That looks like the end to me.
Well, because it's a continuation from 4 weeks ago, so that's why I'm telling you this is.
I don't understand that. Okay, with all of creation, we are.
Whoops, the sun goes down on Sunday. That's where we stopped.
Okay, I want to know what's before that. Let's go. I want to see. I want to know what's the list. What did we talk about? That way I'm not going to bring up something that we already talked about. Just the last class, just last week.
Well, that's what, okay, so you understand. Since 4 classes ago, we started doing the same thread. So now it's hard to determine when it was the beginning of the last class. But the last time we were on this.
What do you mean?
one.
This is all written on one thing now? It looks
Yeah.
like one page?
Yeah, because it was a continuation. It was what was said since the beginning from these ceremonies, because this is all about the
Okay,
ceremonies.
all right. Well, let me just read from here. Okay, all right. Just zoom through it fast. Okay. Oh, wait. Did that say counterclockwise direction? Yeah, okay. All right. Uh-huh. Oh, okay, we're way back.
No, that's the last thing. That's the last thing that we wrote. That's it.
Okay, all right, let's go. Hey, cutie patootie! And a little boy. Hello. How's everything?
Smells like onions.
Good to see you. I'm in a Kanienkeha class right now. My niece and nephew just walked in. I had to hug them. Okay, all right, let's go to where.
Okay, so I'm
to
gonna
where we're
stop
gonna
now,
start.
and we're gonna go to another one.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna go then. Sorry.
Hey, we're having a Kanienkeha class. You want to learn some Kanienkeha words? Why you scared of?
But not us.
How would we say? I always call her cutie patootie. You know, beautiful little girl. How would we say that? Identify that.
Well, we would never say anything like that. We would just say Yexat Dio. She's a nice girl.
Yaksa.
Dio.
Exa or yaksa?
Yek. I'll write it down.
Yaksa deal. Okay. We'll see you later.
I'm thirsty, Mom. Mommy, I'm thirsty.
Yaksa deal.
What's Mommy?
Yexat Dio. That she's a nice girl.
Okay, is that like identifying about, well, we could say she's a nice girl, like we're saying like a teenage girl or a
Yeah,
20-year-old.
you could say a teenage girl. Yeah, even sometimes we'll say that to like a woman. She'll say, "Well, she's not Yexat Dio," because you know, it's almost flirtatious in a sense.
Okay, well, we want, she's a cute little girl.
Isn't there a H in there? spelling.
No. We want, she's a cute little girl, something that identifies a little young girl, little kid. Not, it can't be applying to a teenager or adult.
Okay, there you would say, okay, Gotnie. Okay, I sent it anyway. Gotnie. Gotnie no kwa. Gotnie no kwa.
Not yet. After the, between the E and the M. And between the two A's. Kanienkeha Class.
But that's her,
Hey, what's that drink? You
Oh, get away from there.
she's like a small shell. You know, because everything's a shell, our bodies are a shell. Ganye no kwa. Because we always think of everything as the Turtle Island. So she's part of Turtle Island. So Ganye no kwa. She's a small turtle shell.
You sure want to finish it? Finish it.
Okay. Yaksa Dio. So that would apply to like an older girl, like a teenager, 20-year-old girl.
Well, you know, somebody in there past, like after maybe 5 up.
Okay. Okay. All right, then we're gonna go back to the that dialogue, that discourse. Now, again, to remind everybody, this is where it's just the young boy within the longhouse telling general information that this is how we are in the longhouse. So let's see. We talked about circle. We talked about matrilineal.
That is so
Uh,
cool. So healthy.
The house is divided between the women and the men. Yeah. like it was like this. Men sit with their back to the east, women to the west.
We did that already.
No, that was about titles and clans,
Okay.
gender. Let's see. Okay, then there it's okay. It's not with their back. Okay, that's where the confusion is there. The women sit to. Let's just identify that the women are on the west and the men are on the east of the longhouse. That's our next English. This is directly,
Well, it's broken.
this is derived from the directions of Grandma Moon, eldest brother to the son. Hey, your brother, he graduated?
Wow.
Yeah. Are you proud of him?
Wow.
Hey, what's up?
Wow.
Oh, you do right?
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, yeah? country music.
Oh.
You
I agree with that.
want to say country music? I say rock and roll.
He said rock and roll is better.
My nephew says country music. No, he said rock and roll. So I says, oh yeah, country music. What kind of music you like? You're wonderfully awesome. That's what your shirt says.
And I'm gonna do it.
No?
It can change colors.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because inside.
You want to split it right away, eat it?
Okay.
Oh, that's so cool, huh?
They're going to suck cashews, the split between the house. Jinue is where? Or that's the house. Gudun Hetzeratkawas is the life givers. And Agunagwadi is the west.
Oh,
Okay.
And Runungwe Nagunagwadi, men at the east of the longhouse.
Yes, you're able to ask him about Kane's name.
oh yeah.
Those are not Dorian.
Hey, while you're there, we got a special request here for you about a name. What is it?
Those are not Dorian.
Can you hear her? Come say it over here. Just say it loud, loud enough.
Those are not Dorian.
Those are not.
Those are not Dorian.
Rodera Doyes.
Those are not Dorian.
Rodera Dorius. Okay, what's it supposed to mean? I'll tell you if it's right.
Rose.
Rose, Ra, Dorius.
Oh, Roseron. I know, it's Roseron Doyes. It wakes him up, keeps him awake.
Keeps him awake? Is that what you knew it to be?
Yeah, that's what his grandmother was listening to. But I was told it's not nice, remember?
Did you ever hear of a name like that while you're there?
Rosero Doyes? No.
Is that, would you think that that's a proper name?
Well, yeah, if something is keeping him awake, yeah, Rosero Doyes.
Yeah, but if you name a kid that, you give that to a kid, then that's like you're putting that on the person, right? It's something that keeps.
Yeah, it's a male, Rosero Doyes. It's keeping him awake.
That's like giving, it's like giving a burden to the person.
Okay, this thing, you want to read the whole thing? You're going to say it all?
Yeah.
Okay, they're going to sakashu, jinue, skudun hetzeratkawas, enagonagwadi, danu runugwe, nagu negwadi, gonu sesne.
Okay, the first word, Deganu, after the, yeah, Deganu. So. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm having a hard time to see this. Let me move the computer a bit. All right, Deganu Sakashu, Sinue, Gundun Hetzerat Gawis, Anego, Enaga, Negwadi, Dona Ranungwe, Nagu, Negwadi, Negwadi.
Negwadi.
No, if you do that again.
Negwadi, gonu sesne.
Between the E and the K.
For both.
No, not.
Well, because there's the same.
Oh, yeah, there's two of them. Negwadi. Negwadi. Negwa. I'm gonna put one between the A and the
We
T.
had blue corn and there's tiny corn.
Negwadi.
Candy corn.
Okay, you know what? Take out the first one between the E and the K. Negwadi. Negwadi. Yeah. Negwadi dono nungwe nagu negwadi gono sesne.
Peganu sagashu, dinue, tikuntun hetseragawas, enigan, neguadi, dano, ronungue, nago, neguadi, ganon sesni.
Veganusa Kasho, Sinue, Kundun Hetzerat Gawat, Enegan, the Wadi, Danurunue, Nagun, the Wadi, Ganusesne. Elsa,
Vegano, vegetu, sinue, segundo netzerat gawas, enegan, neguaritanu, nonum huenagum, neguarigano sesne.
Janet,
Deganun sakashun, Dinoe, Digondun, Hetzerat Gawas, Naga, Negwadi, Danu, Ronungue, Nago, Negwadi, Ganun Sesne.
Charlene, and Eve.
My Kanienkeha is.
Okay, we'll start with who? Charlene, well, that's the order? Charlene?
Okay, okay.
Okay, Teganus Takasho,
Deganus takwashon,
Dinue,
sinoe,
Skudun Hetze Ratkawas,
sukun etzre gaduanos,
Ratkawas.
kawas,
Okay, then Enaga,
enege,
Negwadi,
negwadi,
Danu,
tanu,
Runungue,
runugwe,
Nagu,
nago,
Negwadi,
negwadi,
Danu Sesne.
ganoseski. Snake.
Okay, good. Ev,
Oui,
Takashun,
negason sakasho,
Dinue,
sinoe,
Skudun Hetze Ratkawas.
seton hetsaratquaswa,
Yeah, Skudunhet, that's a very hard word. Skudunhet Seratkawas.
sukunet seratkawas,
Excellent. Enaga,
enega,
Nagwadi,
nagwadi,
Tanu Runugwe,
tanun runungwe,
Nagu Nagwadi,
nagun nagwadi,
Kanu Sesne.
kanusesne.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Mark,
Teganus sakas sinue kun hetzerat kawas enega negwadi danu ronungue nagu negwadi kanusesne.
so Angel is not there today, so for today, the order is Stuart, Marie Claude, and myself, Elsa, Janet, Charlene, Ed, and Mark.
Hey, wait a minute. You're gonna order. Do you want to try that?
Circle.
Do you want to try saying that?
You want me to just read it?
Yeah.
Peganu sagashu, ne dinoe, Kundun hetseragawas, enaga, neguadi, dano, rungue, nago, neguadi, ganon sesne.
It's good.
See, here, I'll just tell you what I'm hearing. I always hear my niece talking in English. We communicate that way. This is our first language. There's no lying about this, no covering that up. This is what I grew up in. This is what the majority of everybody grew up in. Guayaguero is one of those few who are extremely lucky to have been spoken to and grow up in that as being the first language. But here, even I, within our people, even I can tell and make out the difference of knowing where a person is from just by hearing their accent in their Kanienkeha. this is exclusively with the Kanienkeha people. It's not like this with others, like the Onondagas, the Cayugas, Oneidas. It's only with the Kanienkeha. The linguistic the sounds, they are very unique grouping in Akwesasne, from Grand River, Ganawage. So for us, and Gerda knows this better than I do, that he hears somebody speaking Kanienkeha, he can tell almost instantly that's they're from Ganasadagi. These ones, that's Ganawage, the other ones Akwesasne, you can pretty much tell without having to ask the person, well, where are you from anyways? So for me, I detect these little nuances, whatever, within the language and the people speaking it. So I hear something different from my niece when I hear her speaking Kanienkeha.
It might be because I was in Ganasadagi here and I was listening as a kid though.
You see this? I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear what she said, Wyatt? That
No.
she says it's because she grew up here. She was born here, then Ganasadage and in Akwesasne. So she has these three different places, linguistic groupings that are part of her language background. You know. So, anyways, for me, just to say that when I hear her talking English, I hear her just like I don't know, not to diminish or anything, but there's less importance in her when she's speaking English. But when I hear her speak Kanienkeha, even though she's just reading, I hear more importance in her words, in her voice. There's more. It's better this way. I like to hear you speaking Kanienkeha.
I'll do it more.
Well, let's see about that. Okay, we just got a challenge here tonight of that we're going to be doing it more often, trying it more often. More Kanienkeha in our every day-to-day communication. So next time I see you, if it's in the daytime, I'll say, Sadagari Dega. That's what I would say to you. And you would say, Wagadagari Day. Or you might go, oh, I got a sore back. Or, whatever the wordings would be.
So to me, it used to be Sego's gonna go, and then the other person would say, it's gonna go. The other one would say, Ognize, and then you would say Yonaraje.
Yeah.
So it was more simple when we were younger to teach how to have just an instant conversation, a conversation starter. How's your day? How you doing? Simple things like that. It leads to you having a whole sentence of conversations. And then you get All right, we're gonna get going. Love you a long time.
All right, Kanienkeha, Ona. So good to see you. Wow. Beautiful. Okay, what were we doing?
Yeah, we were on this one now.
Juggling. Yeah, this is derived from the directions of Grandma Moon and eldest brother the sun. This is derived. This follows. This is based on. Okay. He rises in the west. Oh, he he rises in the east, travels to the west. I'll actually put that one second.
Yeah.
She rises in the west and travels to the east.
Okay, just a second, wait a little.
Okay. Let me know when we're ready to start. This one.
Did I miss something? No. Huh?
Yeah, Swati, I sent it.
I know, I don't know how this thing didn't copy it though. That was off.
Yeah, it's written down now.
Yeah,
Okay, Jeannie.
just a second, just a second.
Sydney Joanne.
Mini, where?
Jeannie, break it there. And then Jawe. Jaweno, and then Yunki. Sota, and then Garakwa. We could keep the whole thing, Garakwa. Danu, and then Sungwa. Sungwa. Jia Garakwa. Okay. Chinichawenu, Yunki Sota Garakwa. Okay, Chinichawenu, split that up. Yeah, okay, good. Yunki Sota Garakwa, Danu Suguachia Garakwa.
Sydney Joanne, Yonki Sota Garakwa, Dano Sunkwazia Garakwa.
Sinichaweno, Yonkisota, Garakwa, Danu, Sunquatia, Garakwa.
Chinichaweno, Yonkisota Garakwa, Dono, Sunwachia Garakwa.
Sinichawen, Yukisota Karagwa, Tanu Sungwatia Karagwa.
Jini Joenu, Yunki Sota, Garakwa, Danu, Sungwajia, Garakwa. I have a quick question on Yunki Sota Garakwa. I've learned to say Yunki Sota Asundaneka Garakwa. And so what does Asundaneka mean?
The nighttime sun.
Thank you, Noah.
Well, once you mention Yuki Sota, she's the only one in the sky at that time. Yeah.
Just different variations, like the way we call our grandmother. Some people might say, hey, grandmother. Well, who do you ever hear that though? Some people say grandma, some will just call them ma. You know, but very different variations. None of them are wrong. It's really what the person who's saying it, what they are implying or meaning at the time, to what level they're communicating.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Charlene.
Okay, Charlene. Okay, Chini Joenu,
Sinichaweno,
Yuki Sota,
Yuki Sota,
Garakwa,
Garakwa,
Danu,
Danu,
Sungwatia,
Sunquatia,
Garakwa.
Garagua.
Okay, good, very good. Ev, Chini Joenu,
Sinichaweno,
Yuki Sota,
Yukisota,
Garakwa,
Garagua,
Danu,
Tano,
Sungwatia,
Soquatia,
Garakwa.
Garagua.
Good.
Sini Tiawenu, Yongi Sota Garagua, Danu Songwat Sia Garagua.
And like, raise your hand.
Oh, yes, I had a question because there's a time where the trees are really having this exponential growth. We see like all of a sudden they grow so fast. It just happened not long ago, maybe last week. And since the ungwe, we're connected to the tree. Everything is connected to a tree. Does that have a parallel in, say, human that you can think of this particular time of the tree growing like that?
Okay, but what's the question? Like, is there a word for it? Is that what he was trying to ask?
Something that I don't know. It really, I'm just like launching it. Maybe there's nothing there, but I just thought that maybe you'd say, oh yeah, well, during this time, the
Oh yeah, you would say your snorri, you're not there, your snorri is quickly, you're not there, they're growing.
But this is more of an open-ended thought that you're pursuing. The parallels of growth between a tree and a human, you can say, yes, growth is the
Oh, okay, then you would say something you got means we together, the tree and the human are growing at the same pace.
But in the reality of creation, that when you're looking at the trees, there is particular for the point, they grow at a certain time of the year. Other trees will grow, fruit-bearing trees will grow at other times of the year. They don't all have the growth spurt at the same time. So of course, it's because they're dealing with the seasonal cycle. Whereas us, yeah, we still live in that season, but we're inside, we're warm, so we got growth all throughout the year, where trees have growth only at certain times of the year. So it's not the same parallel, like right across to say, oh, at this time the tree is growing, so at this time the parallel in the human, it's growing at this time. Humans we're growth spurts all the time. It doesn't matter if there's children born throughout the year. So let's just say that, well, you can only grow at this time, like a tree, because of weather, so that's not a factor for us. So for us, it's all the time to grow.
Yeah, but she marks a point in the sense that reveals our artificial way of life, that in normal cycles, we wouldn't be warm all of the time necessarily. We would be more adjusting, to nature as at the same time. Now we have it a little bit too easy of being out of the cycles too.
Yeah, but we do not have fur covering our bodies. We have become what we are. So this means we're not going to be sleeping outside in the wintertime. We're going to be inside. We always have been. So we're not subjected to the freezing, the colding, the thawing out effect that the weather has, as the way that it does on trees, because they don't go inside. They don't put jackets on. We do. We cover up our babies. Trees don't cover up their babies except with fallen leaves and then with snow. So no matter what, the growth, you can't say for a human and a tree that it's a parallel at this time of year. Well, same in a human. It's just not that way.
Not necessarily in the time of the year, but maybe like in the process, that process of like growing so fast, does it happen in the human as well? And if so, I don't know.
Okay, well then what I know, and I'm pretty sure all of you know this, that there's growth spurts that young boys have and young girls have at different times. I know that when I was, let's see, my brother Keith was about 8 years old or 10, and I remember he was in a lot of pain. His legs were in pain because he was growing so much. So it doesn't happen to you when you're 16. Well, you do have another growth spurt, but you don't grow as much at 16 as you do, like say when you're 7 or 8, like in as far as how much your legs and your body is growing. So we do know that there's a lot of different times within the lifespan of a human where there's different growth spurts, like a voice, like the vocal cords, we know at the age of that, different times. So
Well, the girls at the school in the grade 5s and 6s this year, they all grew. They're about 5'5", 5'6", and the boys, they stayed at their same height.
Yeah.
They already took off by a couple of inches just in 1 year. Like they're going into the other stage now. They're not little girls. But puberty, is that what they call it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're in there already.
And to continue with that part of the pines, because it's a very specific time of the year, it makes me think of what you were saying about the tobacco. This is the time that it grows, so it's related to the brain. And it is also coinciding with the strawberry, that is like, the highest peak of heat and everything. So it's all about the love, the peace, the brain growing, regardless, if we are synchronized with those cycles or not. That's what's happening in creation simultaneously. So there's some connection with the white pine, of course, with these three.
And with the fact that if we're looking at growth spurts within the lifespan of a human and the lifespan of a tree, well, we know that there's a cycle of every 5 years in the white pine. So maybe we will see when we examine more, we become more scientific about ourselves, we might see a 5-year cycle within us as a human. But that's something that you're really only going to be able to do is once you get collective. Once you're collective, then elders will be able to record and then tell you what happened when you were young. And then you'll be able to, when you get older, be able to correlate that with everybody else's cycles and then to know, oh yeah, this is like a ratioing out or like a ratioing out of your cycles. You'll be able to pinpoint it. It take a while for our humanity to get back up and running on that level, but once it does, it will be a constant for everybody. It will be something that anybody will be able to tap into. You would be able to, if you lose track of this, but from the time you're born, there's no way you could possibly lose track of this if your parents are locked into it. You would know at what cycle of the moon you were born in. And if you didn't, you would be able to ask the collective what cycle you were born in, because the collective will know it. So there's a lot of benefits to being in the collective that reveals things about humanity that you don't have. It's not there unless you are collective. But democracy makes it so that nobody's collective. So
this thing is ready now, so it's Jutketsquas and Gonaguadi, Dano, the Yunstiga for Snagonaguadi.
What did you say?
Janet has raised her hand too.
Janet, on the same track. Well, let's finish with the questions there.
Do you want me to say what I was going to say, or do you want to move on?
Oh no, yeah, let's finish with the question that you had.
I heard that I heard this years ago that the human bodies, the cells on a cellular level, they regenerate every 7 years. Just going along with what you were talking about. I don't know though.
Okay, well, that's something for us to look at. If that happens on our cellular level, is it something that we can be physically aware of, that we will know? Like, let's say 7 years, your skin wrinkles or something, or you get a rash, something that we're aware of that cycle. So as we go on, let's look into that. Is there something that if we don't need a microscope to detect it, or is it detectable to the bare eye,
Yeah, but it is, I know it because I'm older than most of you, but you can stunt your own growth. We can stunt our own growth when we stop learning, when we think we've learned everything. That's why I see people exactly my age, they haven't moved. It seems like I'm 10 years ahead of them. It's not that I'm so smart. I just don't never stop learning. I guess they're settled. They're settled. And like it's age has got to do with that because the age tells you this is what you're supposed to do at this time, stop at this time, and they kind of lead you into an earlier grave.
Retirement. That's what retirement does.
Yeah, you stop using your brain.
You look at everybody who I have ever known who retired. What do? They afterwards, it's like they walk around in like they're lost because they don't have their daily grind to go to anymore, and nobody else is free the way that they're free. So they're lost. They're stuck in their own little worlds basically, and you know this. We've seen a lot of people once they retire, they just die. It's a way that the system drains you when you're young, so that you cannot maintain. It's like if you're running a race, you start running all your might right at the start. What happens when you do that? You don't make it. But if you start pace yourself out, then you can sprint at the end. But if you're running all your might in the beginning, there's no sprint at the end. There's nothing even halfway through. You might just go kaput.
That's why I'm practicing harmonica now.
Right on, Guajagero, right on.
That's my new-
I'm gonna get my spoons out.
Please just say country music.
Hey, yeah, now we can really have a copyright infringement going. Holy jeez.
I have a guitar.
My son plays piano, so we're in shape. We're ready.
Wow, doesn't take long for this to go south. Okay, where are we? Are we
Yeah, we're
continuing?
Okay, I'll read it again. Jutketsquas enagonagwadi. Dano de yunstigafas nago nagwadi.
Junguetsquas,
Junt, there's a T in Jutketsquas.
okay, between the S and the K. Juntgetsquas. Juntgetsquas. My tongue gets a little tied there. Juntgetsquas. Anaga nagwadi dano
Yutstigafas.
Junstigafas. Nagu negwadi.
Tionquetwas, Enegan Neguati, Dano, Deyontigawas, Deyontigafas, Nagun Niguadi.
My goodness, we should almost put an F there.
Put in brackets PHAS.
Just besides?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually the F word in Kanienkeha. The F sound, WHA is fa.
Tionquetquas, Enegan Neguadi, Dano, Teyuntigafas, Nago Neguadi. Holy.
Junketsquas, Eneganiguati, Tanu, Teunstigafas, Nagu Neguari.
Junt, Getsquas, Enega, Neguadi, Danu, Deyunstiga, Fas, Nagun, Neguadi.
Are we to the girls now, Charlene?
Tion,
Okay,
oui.
okay, Charlene, you just, the Yutstika, okay, Jutketsquas,
Jutketsquas,
Anaga,
Enaga,
Negwadi,
Negwadi,
Danu,
Tanun,
Te yunstigafas.
Teyuntigasfas.
Nagun
Nagun
negwadi.
Negwadi.
Okay, Ev. Jutekwas.
Jungetquas,
Anaga
Enega,
negwadi.
Neguadi,
Danu.
Dano,
Te yunstigafas.
Tinontigafas,
Nagun negwadi.
Nagun Neguadi.
Okay, good one.
Junt Getquas, Enega, Neguadi, Danu, Teyunstiga was Tia, no, hang on.
Yunstigafas.
Teyunstiga fas, Nagun, Neguadi.
Yeah.
Circle.
Yay.
Okay, where are we? Do we have something there?
And now Guayaguiro can work on that one and we can continue. with-
Okay, he rises.
Okay, she. These large movements tell us that our Mother Earth is circling the sun. This changes the perception of sunrise and sunset. Changes the knowledge. Okay, let's reword this. Changes the knowledge of what sunrise and sunset is, and put them both in quotes. See, here's something we're going to address here that people don't even know. It's something to be addressed. How many times have you heard sunrise, sunset? All your life. If you're talking about being up at a certain time early in the morning, you're going to talk about sunrise. Okay, so this establishes a certain egocentric perception of creation, that the sun is rising and it rotates, it travels across the sky. And what sky? It's our sky. So it's traveling across us. It's like we're at the center. It gives us an egocentric perception of creation. It's wrong. There is no such thing, as you know, as sunrise. There's no such thing as sunset. So
Well,
this,
the word we use in Kanienkeha is like we won't talk about the sun first. We say onwondetne. Onwondetne. That means we bring in the dawn, then the sun rises. But it's a splits, it's very quick in time. If you look in the morning, like I'm up at 5 o'clock, you look to the east and you see the little, it's all dark. And then just a little after that, there's a little slit of white or gray. That's a wanda, that's the dawn. Then about a half hour later, the sun comes up. Then that's Karakwagetsko.
see, but here I'll show you a difference in perception. As the light. Okay, sunrise is this. Let's say this is the sun. I don't know if you can see it. let's say we're here on Earth and we're standing right here. That's me standing on the Earth. Well, now sunrise is this. That's what that is. But our knowledge is not sunrise. Our knowledge is this. There's a different perception there. You don't know it. You got no clue until you learn it. This gives a different perception of that we are standing upon something that is rotating around. And when it does rotate around, hey, look, there's the sun. It's not the sun that's rising or lowering or setting or anything. It's our motion upon our Mother Earth. This is a different perception. And even right now, I know we're not really going to grasp it to its full extent. It's right now just a thing that you've heard. It's just, there's a little bit of something to examine there. But as you go more into it, you're going to see and you're going to place yourself then. You're going to be on this huge rotating Earth that you are going to know that it's looking out at all of the cosmos. It's not the sun that's rising and setting upon us. A totally, completely different perception. You will not know it until you're thinking within it. Well, that's what the longhouse is. It thinks from within all of these perceptions. These are not just things of which we speak of. In order to speak of these things, these are the things that are at our core, what governs us. And I will say to you, step outside of these grounds, and you will not have another person in Ganawagi who knows of this, or who has the perception of this rotation. No, everybody has the perception of this sunrise and sunset. It's completely wrong. Gives everyone a wrong perception and therefore a wrong place, spatial placement in this world. You become displaced spatially from what you are when you have the wrong perceptions. Okay, so
okay, het sketskwas nagu negwadi. Dano, de hatstigafus. Okay. Het sketskwas enago negwadi, wait.
okay, you know what? Even wait a minute, hang on while you're here. We're going to have to adjust that, the English to fit that. Now, once we adjust the English, see if it fits to what you got there in Kanienkeha. So he's not rising in the east and traveling to the west. So our identification of this is crucial. Okay, we first encounter him.
Esau,
We encounter him there. And then it's not he that travels to the west. We encounter him to the east.
The sun hits him first, right?
Until we pass by him in the west. Okay, now this is the concept here, like we said, and this is the proper wording we have to get for this. The concept is that we are standing on our Mother Earth, and as we're rotating, hey, look at right there. This is where we start to see our eldest brother, the sun. And we don't see him anymore until we pass right by him in the west. That's right now, that's the closest we could come to identifying that action.
Okay.
What is in the wording of, or what is in the meaning of what's identified as a sunrise?
That's what I'm writing now. That's what I'm gonna be sending you now, but I gotta keep it there, then I'll finish. Okay,
Encounter him in the east.
okay, now it's gone. Now we've changed it.
Hey, I just thought of something. When we were with Roger Chalk Mendoza that night, did I sing a song?
Maybe because we actually didn't go to the end of the video, so I don't know what else was there that we didn't pay attention, but you must have sang one song. Yeah.
Okay, here's the word, the Horakutseroyaks means the sun strikes him in the east.
Okay, when you're saying the sun strikes him, who is the him that you're talking about?
The earth.
Okay, well then that's not a him. The sun strikes us, or we. You see, okay, here it can't be something that the sun is doing. It's our motion. Because the sun is there. Let's say
It's us, they yungwa, then. They yung, okay, they yung, eat it, it's T-E-I-O-N. They yung K-W-A. They yungwa ra, R-A-H. H. Okay, leave the rest. They yungwa ra kutseroyaks. Now gonna guadi. It strikes us in the east, and then on Chidawato headstone, we pass him in the east,
in the west.
in the west, yeah.
You know, and what you were just saying, this made me think about in the law recital, how whenever when the law has been read off, it is identified. The speaker says, I am the Ganawida. Now, this just, when you just said, it puts us in the same understanding to say us, meaning from the perspective of Mother Earth, I am. This is the only way to get the true perspective, the true knowledge of the thing of which you are speaking of. So if we're talking about our enemy, we want to understand him. I am this. And then I speak of them, I could understand them. I am the great peace, and it's because this, and this, I can then understand it. So it is very important here, very crucial thing to know that the individual must associate themselves. They cannot just say words about something. It's a communication. So what is lacking in the communication is the personal association, the ownership of those words. In order for that to resonate into the being, this is the reason why we can lie so easily in the world today now. Anybody can lie, and even it's a lie without even it being intentional, a non-intentional lie that just develops out of our own lack of awareness of having true communication. True communication is a very astute thing that we are not going to allow our words to fall short from the meanings that we want to convey. And we don't want to put more emphasis if we only want something to be. So our control over our words is it's mandatory. We have to.
Okay, the first word is the Guaraconceroyax.
Deyong guara
Gunceroyax.
guara. Deyong gua rungun.
The Guara Gun.
Deyong gua.
At between the H and the K.
Okay, wait. Yeah, between the H and the K.
The
No.
Guara Gunceroyax.
Between the K and the W, I meant. Okay. There. Take out the one between the H and the R. Deyong guara. Oh, the K. The first one has to go in front of the K, not after. Yeah, and the one back between the H and the K. Deyong guara con.
Ceroyax. The Guaraconceroyax.
Okay, between the N and the T. Take out the next one. Ceroyax. Deyong guara gon ceroyax. Deyong guara gon ceroyax. Nagu neguadi garde
Carde. Carde.
carde.
And then T.
Between the A and the R. Carde. Jide wador hetstu.
Yeah, Chito Wato Headstone.
On G. Between the I and the T. De wado. Yeah. Okay, neguadi garde. Anzi de wado hetstu. Enaga neguadi.
Deyong guaragun ceroyax, nagun neguadi, gare antidewa do headstone, enigan neguadi.
Teyong Guaraconceroyax, Nagu Newadi, Gare,
Carde.
Kare, Ansitewadon Hetson, Enegon Newadi.
Teun guara garagu ceroyak. Ceroyak snago. Neguari kare. Ansitewato etson. Enegan neguari.
Great on that long word.
Deyung Guahar. Guahra.
The Guara.
Deyung Guara. Gun. Gunt. Zeroyax. Huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Nagu Neguadi. Kare. Enjidawado headstone. And Harum. Sorry. Enaga Neguadi.
Okay. Who's next? Chris. Chantalyn. What's the name again?
Charlene.
Charlene. Okay, Charlene. Okay. Deyun Guara Kun Ceroyax.
Deyun guara kun ceroyax.
Nagun Neguadi.
Nagun neguadi.
Kare.
Karek.
Anti de Wado Headstone.
Anti newato etsa.
Anagon Neguadi.
Enegon neguadi.
Okay. Ev. Deyun Guara Kun Ceroyax.
Terunguaya kun ceroyax.
Nagun Neguadi.
Nagun neguadi.
Kare.
Care.
Anti de Wado Headstone.
Antidewo tawetsa.
Anti de Wado Headstone.
Dohetsta.
Anagon Neguadi.
Enegon neguadi.
Okay.
Teyun Kawara Gun Seroyax Nagu Negwadi Kare Ansi Tewadu Headsta Enega Negwadi. Circle.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to emphasize here something for us to acknowledge something. Something has changed here. What has happened here over time, as Boyagerdo knows, is that the English has changed the Kanienkeha. Now, in Kanienkeha, we probably said the same thing before and after the coming of the white man, when it for the reference of sunrise, of that point where it changes to day. But because of the English, we just now associate it to sunrise, sunrise, sunrise. We become used to saying that. So the English has changed our understanding. This is a fact. We all know that. But here we can, we have tonight corrected that that corruption of how English has changed our understanding of what the daytime is. Again, there is no such thing as sunrise. You all know this. The sun does not do anything in as far as rising in the sky and passing over us. That does not happen. So our people knew this, but today, quite simply, because of the reference of sunrise, 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 it changes, it has changed the knowledge in us of what it actually is. So tonight, we correct it. This is something that is being corrected now, tonight. Now, try to address this somewhere else. You know, this is not going to be addressed by anyone else anywhere. So it is now a challenge to everybody who speaks Kanienkeha or who knows it or knows Mohawk or whatever, for you now to adjust your knowledge, your understanding of what that term is when you refer to sunrise, that it is not rising. It is when we standing on the solid earth that we know that the earth is rotating and at a certain point allows us to have vision of that, and then it passes by us and we can't see it anymore. That's not rise and that's not setting. That's not sunrise. It's not sunset. Our perception must correlate back with the truth of what is really happening. So this is how we break down and fight against the colonial genocide that everybody's a victim of. It went around the world and it changed everybody's perception to an egocentric perception of that. Wow, the sun rises over us. We're so great. No, the sun does not rise over us. Our mother exposes us to him.
Just as a curious thing, because my brain always goes into the other languages to make the parallel. So French is the same, lever de soleil, you know, it's like the sun rising. But in Spanish, it's amanecer. And I just look for the meaning because I never thought of that before. And it says, when the light of the sun appears in the horizon. So that's kind of like a closer thing, you know? So it just makes me wonder, oh, wow, where does that come from and the origin and everything, you know, but just, yeah.
See, so here, just with these comparisons from English to French and Spanish and Kanienkeha, we can piece together a larger humanity of us, something that has happened to all of us, stealing away our knowledge of what we once had to now have a false belief, a false perception of something.
Edith, I sent it to you.
Yeah, I was just too busy with these translations.
This is
yeah.
very important ground gained here tonight, and this is the purpose of the Kanienkeha class. It's not just to have Kanienkeha words for us to repeat. It's for us to comprehend the true knowledge, the true information that is being conveyed. And the reality is, since we all speak either English or French, the Kanienkeha part of it is to be used to correct the corruptions in the English, the corruptions in the French. And in this case, there doesn't seem to be a corruption in the Spanish in relation to that. That's a hidden information. And we can then deduce that Europe, the European, has a bunch of hidden information all around them. But one of you all by yourselves, you don't have the complete information. You need somebody to come along and put your pieces back together.
Okay, that first word, goano, wadoyanarus, Yuguaroris, goano, wadoyanarus, Yuguaroris. That's the large movements tell us that our Yukinistan, Mother Earth, the Yuquadazas is circling, Jokenekagaraqua, the daytime sun.
Okay, the only one I see there is the Yunquadazas. So go to Guada between the A and the S. And yeah, between the H and the K.
Oh, no.
Quadazas. Okay, that chicken neck. Yeah, that's the only one I think that needs breaking down. Okay, Goana, Wadaronatus, Yunquaroris. Wait a minute.
Just a second.
Yunkinista, Ohudza, Deyun Quadazis, Jekenek Gerakwa.
Gowana, Wadoyanerus, Yonquaroris, Yonquinistaa, Ohunza, de Yonquadasis, Shokenega, Garaqua.
Just give me a second because this is bothering me. That is not. Come on, why you put yourself there? Okay. It's not gonna fit anyways. Okay, I'll do it later. Owana, Wadoyaneros, Yunquaroris, Yunquinista, Ohunza, the Yunquadases, Shua, Chicaneka Garaqua.
Guano, wadoyanarus, Yunguaroris, Yukinistana onza, Teunguatases, Jokenagaragua.
Goana, Wadoyanerums, Yunquaroris, Yunquinistaa, Ohunza, Deo Quadasas, Jogenica Garaqua.
Okay. Charlene? Goana,
Goana,
Wadoyanarus,
Watayaneros,
Yuguaroris,
Yuguaoris,
Yukitnistaha,
Yukinistenaha,
Ohotza,
Augusta,
Teyunquadazes,
Teyuquasases,
Jokeneka,
Xokenheka,
Garaqua.
Caragua.
Okay. Ev, Goana,
Goana,
Wadoyanarus,
Wadayaneros,
Yuguaroris,
Yuguaoris,
Yukitnistaha,
Yukinista,
Ohotza,
Ohotza,
Teyunquadazes,
Yukuwahates,
Teyunquadazes.
Yukutawatses.
Okay, listen to me. Teyunquadazes.
What's this? Okay.
Okay. Jokeneka,
Chokeneka,
Garaqua.
Garaqua.
Okay.
Can you read me the first word because it's a little it's hidden in my Joanna,
Goana, yeah.
yeah, because it's hidden in the Goanna, Watoyaneros,
Yeah.
Yunquaroris, Yunquinesta, Ohunza, Teon Cuatas, Teyun Cuatases,
Yeah,
Jun-
the causes.
Tio Kenegua, Tio
Okay, ha,
Yun Kenega, Caragua,
yeah.
circle.
Hey, where's Angel tonight?
She was with a friend.
It's me.
Jeez whiz. Holy smokes. Okay, what time is it?
8:44.
Oh, okay, do we have another?
I think yes, we have a last one. I think, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Put this, the sun doesn't rise.
Because if I go down, you cannot see.
All right, we had a long day today. Very good day, very solid day today. Lots of knowledge. Good interaction. Watch some really the really interesting process of watching life givers be activated. Really good day. Good thing. Participate in. Good thing. Participate in. Good thing. Participate in.
I'm fighting with the mouse. Oh. Jeez Louise.
You know, this one concept here of sunrise and sunset, this is going to be a very hard thing for you to break yourself out of, to come to understand what it truly is. You know, so it's something that once you gain a little ground, you can't give it up. You have to keep on in that area. You have to keep expanding your mind into knowing and understanding what it is, the exchange, the difference between the sky that we're looking out in what we identify as nighttime, and the sky in the daytime. This is an in and an out. It's an inward look and an outward look.
Okay, the first word is Dowatdeni. So you break it where you want. Dowatdeni. Okay, ungot do. Ungot. Doka. Ungot dokasara, and then Nahoda, we won't break. Wadera. Guagets. Guastano. De Wadera. Gua. Santos. Eagle. Okay, Dowatdeni ungot dokasara. Nahoda. Wadera guagets guastano. De Wadera guatsotos. Eagle.
Okay, the second word, ungoto kasra. The last one. oh,
Just a second.
between the A and the S, take that out. We don't need that there.
Here?
Dokasura. There you
Oh,
go.
come on.
Okay, de what Danny, on what Dokasura, Nahoda, what there, Guagetsquas.
Yeah,
Got
forget squat.
I put these on again. What there, Guagetsquas, Danu, de what there, Santos, Iga.
Dans wat deni, on wat to gasera, nahota, wadera quat. Upquas, dano, de wadera quat. Santos, iga.
San wat teni, on wat da gasera, nahoda, wadera quat gets quas, dano, de wadera quat santos, iga.
Tawatani, on cuatro casera, naota matera cuatquetsuka, matera guaquetsquats, tano, tawatera, quat santos, ika.
De what deni, un quado casera, nahoda, wada, wadera, wadara,
Wadera forget squas.
wadera, qua gets squats. Danu, de wadera, qua,
Santos.
Zantos, Iga.
So it's Charlene. The what Danny?
De wat teni,
What do casera?
un wat to casera.
Nahoda.
Naoda,
Wadera forget squas.
nadera coquescas,
Wadera
wadera,
forget squas.
waguestas,
Get squas.
getsquas,
Dano.
tano,
De wadera
dewadera,
quad santos.
quatsantos,
Egon.
egon,
Okay. Ed. The what Danny?
De what teni,
What do casera?
igoguatosera,
What do casera?
unguatsocasera.
Okay. Nahoda.
Nahoda,
Wadera
wadera,
forget squas.
dagetsquas,
Dano.
danon,
De wadera
dewadera,
quad santos.
quatsantos,
Egon.
iga.
Okay. Good.
Tawandani, Unguantocatsera, Nahoda, Wadera, Quaquets, Quas Danu, De Wadera, Gua Santos, Iga.
Okay.
Circle.
Circle,
Oh,
circle.
waiting there. Okay, so what time is that tip now, right?
8:53.
Yeah, that'll be it. Okay, so this is where Wire is gonna read everything off, so everybody knows, keep your mic. Walk over there.
Okay.
Okay.
Two, yeah. Those two words that were not part of, yeah, okay.
You want to use those words? She's a nice girl. The Exodio is she's a nice girl.
Yeah,
You know what? She's a nice, cute little girl, turtle shell. Okay. Okay. They're gonna sakashuntinue. The house is divided between Tkudun Hetzerat Kawas, the life givers, and Gonagwadi in the west, Danu Runungwe, and the life protectors, Nagunagwadi, Ganusesne, east in the long house. Okay. Jijawenu Yukini Stahagarakwa. This derived from the directions of Grandma Moon, Danu Sugwati Agarakwa, and our eldest brother, the sun. Okay. Jutketskos en Gonagwadi. She rises from the west, the Instigafas na Gonagwadi, and travels to the east. The Ingwarakuncheroyak Snagu Nagwadi. The first encounter with him is in the east. Kare and Wadohetsta, Machit the Wadohetsta and Nagwadi, and we shall pass him in the west. Koana Watayana Shukwaroris, the large movements tells us that our Yukinistan Hunza Mother Earth, the Yunkwadazas Chukaneka Garakwa, is circling the daytime sun. The Watstani Watokatsara, this changes the knowledge. Nahoda Wadarakwa Getskwas, Danu, and of what the sunrise, Danu, and the Wadarakwat Santos ego, the sunset is.
Oh, that's it.
Wow. All right. Okay, just so everybody knows, sometimes like a whole text, a whole bunch of words and phrases. Other times, like tonight, it's kind of short. The thing here to know that if, like, let's say, if you want to get your money's worth, so to speak, that it's not so much about the volume, it's about the content, the meaning, the concept here. So sometimes we have to spend longer to get out the concept, but the words will still be like in Kanienkeha, they'll be still short, but the concept here is what we're working on, is what we're putting into the minds of the people, from translated from Kanienkeha into English. So tonight, everybody now has a different perception of sunrise and sunset. Even if you do not grasp it right now, you are going to start placing yourself on the living, moving body of our Mother Earth that rotates around. And this will give you a different perception than what sunrise and sunset gives to you. That actually locks you out from the larger perspective. So again, like to say, well, to get your money's worth, well, we only got so many words tonight. Wasn't as many words as we got last week. Well, tonight you got meaning, you got concept here, you got a sentiment. Okay, so this is a really good day.
Kelly connected and she raised her hand.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kelly.
Your microphone is closed, Kelly. I cannot open it. Yeah.
I'm Kelly, daughter of Beverly, granddaughter of Betty, great-granddaughter of Jeannie. Sorry, I end up staying. I couldn't figure out how to get on live, and then I realized I just didn't want to disturb anybody in the process of language learning. I just wanted to say it's just so beautiful to see those beautiful young women. I'm just so happy. It makes me so happy, just the generation, because I know I'm 62 and I know I'm still a kid, but there's an old grandma in me that's just very happy to know that these beautiful children rising up are going to take our place.
Yay.
All right, very good. That's a good way to end. And you know what? We'll say that is the closing for tonight. So you've done a good closing. All righty, everybody. Y'all will go up. Wait, any update that we got to give on anything?
Well, maybe about Roger, that Ayun and Kelly actually have been working on a beautiful
Share it,
painting
share it. Okay, we're gonna share something with you. This is very important here. As you all know, the guy that we're talking about earlier, Roger Chalk Mendoza, this guy who's wrongly imprisoned by Bolivia, by, you could say, by the whole machination of Europe that has come here to colonize. So he has been wrongly imprisoned, charged falsely under a false murder charge, and held in prison where they don't have a murderer, but they have him as an accomplice to murder. But the murderer, they don't have him. They don't know who it is. So anyways, this is a crazy situation. We've been trying to help him, as you know. And tonight, a very important aspect of all of this interaction with Roger Chalk Mendoza came about, and you can go back and look at it in the live video that we've done prior to the Kanienkeha class. It will really open your eyes to what is happening, our interaction about Roger Chalk Mendoza. So here it comes. Look at this. Maybe you can explain what that is.
Well, maybe Kelly would
Okay.
explain.
So we decided we're gonna tell the story of his life journey from being a baby. The rock with the spiral, that is the Hopi, and that's the Hopi symbol. It's a Australian Aborigine symbol. If you want, I'll give you the knowledge that I was given. So when I went to Australia and sat with these beautiful Aborigine sisters who adopted me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a Hopi symbol. And they're like, yeah, we know. So then I get back to, and they told me that that spiral, when all our continents were close together, we all migrated around the planet. And that was the symbol that we were to leave behind in those migrations. So then when I went to Hopi land, and I was like, oh, when I was in Australia, you know, the women, I said, oh, they have the Hopi symbol. And they said, yeah. So even before I'm finished, the beautiful woman says, yeah, we know, they know. And so this was the first spiral. This spiral symbol was from the first time we had to do purification migration in the first round of we destroying our world or whatever, and then we had to start over. This symbol is also a pick symbol, which in my ancient Scottish, we've lost our language, lost our true name. And in the pick symbol, this represents unity, which is exactly in line with a purification migration. The purification migrations are to bring us back together. So in this collection, we're going to have this rock go through the pictures, but it's going to get smaller and smaller. The beginning of the pictures are going to be round, like the images. And when Roger gets to being in jail, everything's going to be straight. And he's going to be holding this rock. It gets smaller and smaller, and he holds the rock. And then the idea is we dream him out of jail, and then he brings that rock back to here, and somehow, who knows how it'll manifest and grow back into. And then he'll be an all the grown up man in that image with the rock back where it began.
Wow. I'll tell you, when I first seen how this image came about, it's not painted like that. The first image was just the house in the background and all the background, not the woman, not the baby. It wasn't there. I believe that's Ayun, right?
No, that's Kelly.
That's Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay, who done what then? That's why I asked you to explain it.
The woman with the baby. Okay, yeah, it is a collaboration that is perfectly fitting with the Condor and the Eagle, because it's two women from the so-called South and North that are doing this together to help Roger. So Kelly, but is from the North, she made the background. So all of the part that we see with the grandma moon, the sky, the little house, and the floor, that's Kelly's work. And then Ayun, she draws the mama with the baby. Of course, the rock is Kelly's part too. So the part that Ayun made is the mama with the baby. That's her drawing along with her daughter, because they are both artists. So if you can tell, you know, she even put textures. Oh, it's not that, but textures on the clothes. You know, it's like literally super well made. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you got to say about that, Kelly?
Well, I'm just hoping that Ayun knows how to do animation and help me with an opening credit roll to because I want that kids book series to go into animation. And because John Anderson of Yes, he actually wrote me he and my partner Kara, they created a song for the book series. And so that's a long story in its own, but it's that it will manifest. And so I'm still searching for someone who wants to work collectively without me paying them because I don't have the money. And we'll do the opening credit roll. So I'm hoping Ayun can do that because I got a feeling if she can do this on the computer, then we can do an animation. And so it'll be an opening credit roll, like and that opening credit roll I'm going to use to start to try to get funding to actually do the animated series. Anyways,
Far out.
far out is right.
Yo,
I'm very excited.
I wanted to show this to you.
Hang on, and just so you know, also Elsa raised her hand, but I'm just gonna stop this.
Well, no, leave that there.
Oh, okay, I thought
Leave
that
that.
you, okay, hang on, because we're not gonna be able to see much what you're gonna share it for. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you can? Okay,
Because you're
well,
little.
just look at that image of the rock with the spiral on it. Can you go down a little bit so they can all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, keep that image in your mind. Now I'm gonna show you something, and even the back, the part that goes off of the rock. Now, look at this is what, as soon as I seen that, it didn't register to me the last time, but just now it registered to me. I drew this in 1983, and this is what I had seen. So, let's see, let's put this. Wait. You can see it. Okay, so it's just that one part that I want to show you.
There you go. Yeah, there's a spiral. It's in our consciousness.
So for me, I had seen 5 of them. And that's what I had drawn at the time. But of course, you got to know the context. It's with other stuff that I did draw, but it's this that is the connection here, the spirals, the 5 spiral.
Wow.
Okay, anyways, there we go. You done the closing? That's it, right? We can keep talking all night, but
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to ask Ellie, does the Hopi or the Aboriginal symbol goes clockward,
Oh, yeah.
sense or backwards?
You know what? That's a very good question. So I'm going to go look for the symbol in all my stuff and make sure, because that would be a correction that we have to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is it's, yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you so much, because it's, it's going off because it's to go off to the next page. So, but I'll be phoning my Aborigine sister, and I'm going to ask her because, of course, the Southern Hemisphere and the Northern Hemisphere are opposites in the way they spin, right? When water falls, it spins in opposite direction.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
No?
It still spins in the same direction. The whole planet spins in the same direction. The only thing is that it creates 2 hemispheres. Then they don't spin in opposite directions, no matter what. The DNA.
The water? Sorry to interrupt.
The DNA of a person in the south is the same as the DNA of a person in the north. So it's still our foundation, no matter what, is counterclockwise. I'll bet you anything that you find out from them.
But in the rock, it's literally a matter of perception, because how we read the spiral is that it goes from the center and it unravels to continue. So that's completely counterclockwise. It is not the opposite. It is not coming from the end and going inner to be clockwise. So,
well, that's the centrifuge that we deal with. The reality of a baby coming into this world, it's the opposite coming into this. So just like water draining out of a drain. Yes, in the northern hemisphere, it goes one way. Southern hemisphere, it does go the other way.
Yeah.
That is a reality. But the overall planetary truth, the duality, is within a uni body. So there is the one truth that governs the duality. So that's where we see the one truth in our own, in the DNA, in all things. that are in those two separate hemispheres. So no matter what, the DNA in all things in those two separate hemispheres are all going counterclockwise.
Mhm.
But before we were born, we were good to come here, we're going counterclockwise. Okay, anyways, like we said, we could go on and on, keep talking, but.
Thank
we're
you,
not
Elsa.
time for that. Okay, you already said the closing, so now we'll go, everybody, and we'll see you all later. Danzija Datka.
Gia Dako.
Oh.
Bye, Janet. Bye, Elsa. Bye, everyone.